Hey everybody, welcome back to Screwball, a baseball podcast, your home for everything baseball. I'm your host Mike Lepre here with my co-host Frank White.
Hey, how's it going?
Now in this episode of Screwball, we're going to continue with our theme of the postseason, and we're going to talk about the division series that we just recently had over the last week in baseball and the upcoming and current championship series. But first, it's a shame that we got to do this again. But to start out the podcast, we're obviously going to give our condolences and our thoughts to Joe Morgan and his family. It sucks that we have to. Seems like we have to do this every week now, but we lost another baseball legend in Joe Morgan just today, the day we're recording, at the age of 77. Joe Morgan, obviously one of the best second basemen of all time, part of the Big Red Machine, one of the best Reds of all time. I mean, his career really speaks for itself. Great guy around baseball, did some commentating, and it sucks that we keep losing guys like this, but they got a pretty good team building up there. You know, with this recent, we lost Al Kaline and Seaver and Gibson and Whitey Ford, and you know, it sucks that we keep having to do this. I can't think of another year where we lost this many baseball legends, let alone maybe even sports legends. So, you know, rest in peace, Joe Morgan. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family, whoever is surviving him, is if he's got wife, kids, all that. Yeah. So, rest in peace, Joe Morgan.
Yeah, I think since our last episode, we lost Whitey Ford and Joe Morgan.
Yeah, Whitey Ford on Friday, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, we've seen 5 or 6 of some of the best baseball players in the past 50, 60 years pass away in a couple of months. You know, Whitey Ford being probably one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball history, and probably being top 2 or 3 best pitchers in Yankee history.
Yep.
And then Joe Morgan earlier today, Joe Morgan, 77 years old, so waiting to find out exactly kind of what happened there. But Joe Morgan, one of the most well-liked and respected players and legends of all time. You know, he was influenced a whole stable of young players, kids to play baseball. I believe Dontre Willis had something he put on Twitter that said he played in Joe Morgan Little League. He was such an impactful player and person on and off the field. Tim Raines, I believe, said he was his favorite player.
Wow.
So being part of the Big Red Machine, playing second base, playing for 20 years, how long he played, the commentator just knew the game so well and could just speak it so well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a shame we lost Joe Morgan at a young age. You know, like you said, they got a whole, team. It's almost like a free agency that they're going working on. They got a couple outfielders, a start rotation, second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully that's the last of our losses here from our legends. But who knows? Still got a couple months left, and we're not going on a good trend here. So
No.
Say.
No. And obviously we like to offer our condolences and stuff to Whitey Ford, like we mentioned. We just lost him a few days ago. Going to be about a week by the time this gets posted. So, it sucks losing these guys because there really are. It's not like it obviously sucks to lose any former baseball players, but to lose the ones like these guys who have influenced an entire generation of players, it sucks. So we want to extend our condolences to the Whitey Ford family and obviously the Joe Morgan family we just found out today. So. What do you say we get on with the show then, with that being said? And let's talk about, like I said at the top of the show, let's talk about the division series that we just watched this week. Obviously, us as Yankee fans are a little disappointed. Being an understatement. Obviously, with them losing in a division series, they're really touted as one of the best teams in the league for a few years now. So then I think that's naturally where we should get started with the ALDS out of the Rays and the Yankees. Actually, the best division series by far out of the 4, far and away. It went 5 games. The 5th game was a classic. 2-1 victory for the Rays. I know that me and Frank went back and forth with text during and after the game, and I know that Frank had some opinions on what happened and with where the Yankees are headed as a whole. Before I let him get the microphone here, I just want to say that the Rays played well. Obviously, they got a great team, great set of pitchers there. The offense does enough to get them enough run support for those pitchers. The Yankees have a lot of inward looking to do here. You can't keep relying on the home run. You can't keep relying on every game. Hopefully, it's just keep getting the ball to Garrett Cole. So I love the Yankees. It's my favorite team. They got to do some evaluating here. First things first, get LeMahieu back. But good job by the Rays. Good job on their part. They got the job done. And with that being said, I'll let Frank give his opinion on this series and the Yankees and the Rays as a whole. So go ahead.
The series was good. 5 games. Kind of lived up to exactly what everyone wanted it to. But the Rays have a good team. They do a little bit of everything. They played well. They pitched well. They're red hot hitting. They're having fun. Look kind of like the team they had when they went to the World Series years ago. Younger, thrown together, seems like. But just having fun and just kind of making it up as they go, it seems like. With some of these guys, as some of their bullpen guys, where these guys come from, some of their names, you've never heard of them. But for the Yankees, obviously had a tough year, starting off with injuries, as they always do. But this is a franchise where they have more question marks than maybe any other team in all of baseball.
Which is weird.
All they rely on is home runs. They just don't seem to get that. You can't win a World Series on home runs. And my always thought was if the 97, 96 Indians couldn't do it, then how the hell are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to even get in that team. I rebel on the fellas. But if they can't do it, you're not going to be able to do it. So just give that up. Luke Voigt, or Bronx Bombers, that's what we do. This is his quote. Now, you get a base hit once in a while. That's okay, too. You can't rely on LeMahieu to get a hit and everyone else swing for the fences. Sanchez hasn't touched the ball in 7 years. Luke Voigt was terrible in the playoffs. This series, at least. LeMahieu did all right. Torres can't field. Gio did nothing but hit a grand slam. Gardner, he's done. Don't bring him back, for the love of Christ. Don't bring him back. He's 58 years old. Might as well bring Mick the Quick back and have him out there. Aaron Hicks, he had a bad year all around. And Judge, he only hits a home run every once in a while. Stanton did great. Everyone bashes him all the time. He's the only one that did anything consistently. Kyle Higashioshi played great defense. But they have no backups, no depth. Their starting pitching did okay. Their bullpen did okay. They didn't hit. How many times did they get a hit? Just a hit. Just a single. A ball in the gap. Once or twice. And all it was home runs. So they got to figure something out because they're not a good team. Coach terribly. Terribly. That's the worst coach team in baseball.
Agreed.
I think he would. Aaron Boone and his buddies, whatever you want to call them, because they're all terrible, would get outcoached by Matt Williams.
Yeah.
That's how bad they would get outcoached by Matt Williams. And he's terrible.
Yeah, he was bad.
He would get outcoached by Gabe Kapler. He'd get outcoached by anybody. He's terrible. Pitch a guy for an inning and then say, we'll pitch him tomorrow maybe. Why don't you just leave him in? So, terribly coached team. Terrible decisions, and they don't hit. They really don't hit. So they got a lot of answers, a lot of questions to answer, I should say. Tanaka's he coming back? Paxton is he coming back? Canely, you got to bring him back. Ottavino, you get one run this year, a couple runs this year, and all of a sudden they don't like him no more for some reason. But then you got guys like Chad Green. You keep throwing him out there, he'll get up 17 runs, and there he is next day in the 8th inning in a big spot. Jonathan Holder, keep pitching him. Luis Sussick, keep pitching him. But Adam Ottavino, you don't pitch.
I agree.
They got a lot of answers, a lot of questions to answer. Sanchez, he can't be on your team anymore. He definitely can't catch anymore. So if you want him to try DH, and you can try doing that, but he can't be on your team anymore. He's terrible. Voigt, you got to figure out something to do because his defense at first base is awful. LeMahieu is a free agent. At this point, I don't see him signing him back because they don't do anything right. Torres can't play a shortstop defensively. Not for the long term. Gio, you still have the question of what you do with him and Andujar.
Yep.
Andujar can't field anything, anywhere. Stanton's fine, but let him play the outfield. Hicks is going to be okay. You already signed him, so you're already stuck there. And Judge, what are they going to do with him? Because he's going to ask for $600 million for a guy who plays 7 games. So I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. Wouldn't be surprised to see Aaron Boone gone, but he's not going to be because the Yankees don't do things like that anymore. But they really have to do something. And Judge for the 18th year in a row. Well, remember this feeling. How about just get a hit? Remember that feeling. Get a hit. Maybe start a rally. So just hit the ball over the fence.
Yeah.
Well, in Game 5, he had a home run. Yeah, he had a home run. He also didn't catch a ball at the ball. Let's be honest. That's a catchable ball. 8 out of 10 outfielders are catching that. What's he do? Bonks his head on the wall? Come on. It's terrible. Even Gardner caught a ball at the wall. He's short and old and stupid. He made a play. I mean, they need a lot.
Yeah.
They need a lot. You know, they got embarrassed in the playoffs in this season. They exposed. People should look. Your catcher's terrible. Your defense was worst. Baseball, I think they had most errors. So that's not good. They blew a lot of leads. The bullpen. And you can say, "Oh, Canley was missing." Well, that's one piece. The other 7 pieces. Chapman don't pitch well. I thought Britton pitched well, but where's Ottavino? So I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't. But as someone who's a so-called Yankee fan, as myself, I don't like many of the players on the team. I can be right honest with you. There's maybe 2 of them on there. I like LeMahieu. And that might be it. I like Garrett Cole. I like Ottavino. Other than that, I don't really like anybody on that team. Sanchez, I can't even stand. He looks like Ernie from George Lopez. Luke Voigt, I don't not like him, but I am a defensive guy. He can't play defense, so that bothers me. Torres is what it is. Urshela, I do find, I don't mind him. And Judge I can't stand him. I just can't stand him because he doesn't do nothing. He wants all this money. He's going to be hurt, and then he comes back. What did he hit? 100? 111?
Yeah.
Playoffs? Oh, he had 3 home runs.
He had 3 hits. All 3 were home runs.
Oh, look at that. 3 home runs. But he was 111. So he's pushing Nick Swisher territory. So, that's where I am. I want hits. I'm okay with the home runs, but there's got to be a time and place for home runs, and there's a time and place for hits. You got to bear right down and get a couple hits. Move the runners. Bunt. Steal. Hit and run. If there's a guy on first base and LeMahieu's up, if there's not a hit and run 90% of the time he's up, why? Why not? He's going to hit the ball to right field.
Yeah, that's all he does.
He's the perfect old school hit and run guy. What do you do? Have you never seen it? No. Well, you don't want to get thrown out. God forbid someone hits a home run. Well, God forbid you got a base hit, and the next guy comes up and hits a fly ball, and now you got 1-0. Instead of LeMahieu maybe getting a base hit, and the next guy hits a double play, and it's over. Or strikes out, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
So they got to figure out something, because that team's just not likable. As simple as it is. I don't see any Sanchez fans.
No, there are not many of them left.
How many Torres fans already?
Not many.
Urshela, no one. I don't know. You don't hear no one talk about him.
I'd say there's more Gio fans than Glaber and Sanchez.
Yeah, Gardner's gone. Got it. Just get rid of him. Finally, just get rid of him. Because what leadership? Is that really what we're keeping him for? Because it didn't work this year. What year is it going to work? Hicks, you're already locked in there. Stanton, the Stanton fans, but people hate Stanton. He only batted 400 with 8 home runs in the playoffs. So you don't want to like him too much. Judge, everyone loves Judge, but he can throw the ball far and he hit the ball far. But when he hits it, once every 15 at bats. So I don't know. They better figure something out. But that's a terrible team who got embarrassed this year. Really got embarrassed. So they got to figure a lot of things out, and they got to change the way that franchise is. Not in a good spot. You can say they got a lot of talent, but they got a lot of things to figure out. I think number one would be making some trades, maybe for some of the guys the Mets are going to get rid of, Syndergaard or Diaz, and maybe you'll give all your money to LeMahieu and Real Muto. Trade Urshela like Nolan Arenado.
Oh my God!
They're going to make big moves this offseason. They're going to have to. So expect them to be heavy in free agency and trade market this offseason. But yeah, that's not happy with them. Not just because I'm a fan, just a fan of the franchise, just because that's just terrible baseball, waiting for a home run. I mean, I get you, that's the new age, but not every team does that. I mean, even look at the Astros. They put the ball in play more than anybody this year. And they're in the ALCS. They beat the Twins because they put the ball in play on a ground ball and the shortstop made an error. That's why they're here. The Rays, they strike out a lot, but they know when to cut it down. The A's, they strike out a lot, but they know they play great defense. What do the Yankees do best? What is their best? That's the question to think about. What is their strength? It's not just starting pitching.
You'd hope it's their offense. That's what you got to bank on.
I don't think a single guy batted 300 other than LeMahieu this year. Or batted 270. I don't think a single guy batted 270 but LeMahieu.
Sanchez.
I think the highest second batting average other than LeMahieu was, I think, Voigt, maybe like a 264.
Yeah, because he went ice cold at the end of the year, so he dropped down quite a bit.
That's your second highest average. Well, maybe not counting Stanton, because I don't know how many at-bats he had.
Yeah.
But for the most part. So that's definitely not their defense.
No.
You said it's their bullpen, but that didn't really show out. But they got a lot of questions, and they got the Reds over here, so we yelled at them last week. And we expected a lot more out of them, but everyone expects more out of the Yankees, so they better figure that out. They have big off season, and they have a big year next year. And if I'm the Yankees, it's you win the World Series next year or you're gone. All of them. Coaches, a lot of the players, Judge. So they got to win a World Series next year or you're going to be gone.
Yeah. It's going to not be great.
Because the franchise is not built great right now.
And these are the years they predicted were going to be their years. This was the time. This is their window.
And they're not handled right. They're not coached right. Obviously, they're not coached right in preseason or spring training or whatever. They had a summer season this year. But because they're always hurt. No one knows how to bunt. No one knows how to throw the ball at first base as a pitcher. No one plays defense. So what are you teaching them or coaching them? Nothing, obviously. So they got to figure something out. They really do. I keep saying that. But, I mean, how could you have this much talent and be bounced all the time? Oh, it's a heartbreak. Oh, it's a heartbreak. It's not a heartbreak. Everyone's seen it coming. You're stupid. That's why. You're stupid. I mean, Garrett Cole makes more, half a season than the whole Rays team. The whole team. Half a season. And they're embarrassed you because they put the ball in play. They do what they need to do. Bunch of no names. Throws the ball hard. Do what they need to do. Know the role. That's what they got. They gotta do something, but not great.
No, embarrassing. It's almost expected at this point. I almost expect them just to get to the playoffs and look like world beaters and then mess up somewhere. Yeah. So it's disappointing. I'm not going to take credit away from the Rays. Are a good team. That's just is what it is. It's not like they lost to the Brewers. They lost to a good team, and that's fine. But a lot of your grievances I agree with. Like, I'm not going to get into everything you said, but I agree with basically most of your grievances here. I can't really argue with much of it. Yeah. So I don't want to keep beating a dead horse here because we got some other teams we could talk about. But overall, super disappointing for the Yankees. If you don't at least make the ALCS, that's terrible. It's like Dodger territory.
That's where they're going.
Yeah.
That's where they're going. The Dodgers are all this great team, and they never win.
Yeah.
The Yankees are all this great team, and they never win. The Yankees get hurt. So maybe they get that one little blip for them. Dodgers are usually pretty healthy. They just fuck it up.
Yeah.
The Yankees are usually got some sort of injury, but, I mean, that's where they're at. How can you have these two dominant teams for, 5 years now? Yankees maybe 4, 3 or 4, maybe for the Yankees. Dodgers 5 or 6, 5 at least. And they haven't won the World Series.
They're the predicted matchup almost every year. Dodgers-Yankees are almost
they haven't
always.
faced each other, which you can say, oh, okay, I can kind of see that. Not always happens. The Yankees haven't been there, and none of them won.
No.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and the Dodgers have a few pennants now, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's terrible. So if you're going to be good and you're going to pay money, go win. Because you got teams out there who are not paying money and they're winning. The A's. Oh, they're not going real far, but they're not paying nothing.
Yeah.
The Rays, I mean, they're in the ALCS. They're up today, about to go 2-0 on the trash cans here, and they don't pay nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, here's $5. Here's our 3 fans. They could let full fans in and not have a COVID issue. Well, there's only 6 of them, and they're beating the snot out of people.
Yeah.
So, they can't just face the Twins and every year in the playoffs and think they're just going to play them every round and win the World Series, the Yankees. But they better figure something out. They really better, because I'm not very happy with them. And if it wasn't for young boy LeMahieu on that team, and then being on TV every day, it'd be hard for me to sit there and watch them. Really would be. And I'll never be a Mets fan, so you don't have to worry about that. And the Phillies are too stupid. If there was someone else good around here, because the Yankees just don't make me. I don't know anybody I like. I like LeMahieu. LeMahieu's probably one of my favorite players of all time.
You got to keep him.
And then you got big idiots on that team, especially Ernie. Go look him up. Ernie from George Lopez and Sanchez, they're brothers. And I put money on it. Ernie, get a hit before Sanchez. I think there's an episode where Ernie's in the batting cage getting smoked with the ball.
Probably.
George Lopez.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, what do you say we move on then? What do you say we move on to the Astros-A's series? Another little disappointment for both of us. Astros-A's, and we're going to, as we get down the line here, the division series, the series are going to kind of get worse and worse. The A's put up a little bit of a fight. Astros played well. I can't really say nothing against the Astros there. The A's just didn't get it done. I think they lost in 4 games. I thought that they'd put up a little bit more of a fight than they would, because that's just kind of been their mantra all year. They're almost like the Padres in that regard, where they just never say die. They almost won that 4th game. Early on, they had a real lead. They had their guy on the mound they wanted, and then they just blew it. Bullpen problems. The offense never fully clicked like they could. Just super disappointing. And it, obviously a lot of baseball fans were kind of rooting. Really, anyone that plays the Astros, everyone's rooting for. Even me personally, I'm rooting for the Rays here, even though I don't like them very much. So it sucks we didn't get what we wanted at Yankees, A's, ALCS. Neither of them are here. We got Rays, Astros, And the Astros, give them credit. Dusty Baker and the fellas, they were down and out all year. They wouldn't have made the playoffs had it not been for this.
Extended playoffs.
Yeah, they would not have made it. They were under 500, and here they come. They like I said last week, they got a chip on the shoulder they put there, and here they are. And really, what are you going to say now? And that's, for Astros fans, I'm sure they love it. I'm sure the Astros and their fans are ecstatic about where they're at right now. But as me, I'm not a fan of them at all. Doesn't make me happy, but what can you say if they keep winning? So, What do you think about the ALDS between A's and Astros?
It wasn't a bad series. I think it's a tough break that they played every game at 3 o'clock at Dodger Stadium in the sun because the ball flies out of there in the daytime, Dodger Stadium. Same with Giants Stadium, same with San Diego. When it's nighttime, the ball doesn't jump as much. So that's why you see the home runs are way up in that series. The A's played well. The A's, they're definitely, missing some guys. As a smaller team, smaller franchise, it's really hard to overcome injuries, especially one of your best players, if not your best player, Matt Chapman. Matt Olson had a down year. Couldn't figure it out. They had injuries to their pitching, though. It really hurt them. Young guys. A.J. Puck couldn't pitch at all. So they had some problems there. A couple bullpen guys, issues on and off. But they played well. They got the monkey off their back by winning a postseason series. Now I think they have like 17 players that are not contract next year.
Oh my God.
Including Liam Hendricks.
Uh-oh.
I believe he's a free agent, right?
I think so. I'm not sure.
They signed Jake Lamb. He played great. He's a free agent. They have a bunch. Marcus Semien. I would say probably Marcana somewhere in there. Steve Biscotti maybe somewhere in there. He was also missing. But they have a lot of pieces that aren't signed. They still have a good farm system yet, so they got to make a lot of decisions. But a good team. They got the first step is to finally win playoff series. So they got that. Now it's just time to grow and get better and put a little bit of money into the bullpen and the pitching a little bit. Keep Matt Chapman and Matt Olson.
Yep.
But a good franchise, and they did okay. Not as far as they could have went, but with some of the problems they had and running into a talented team, it is what it is.
Yeah, it sucks for us. I know we both like the A's, so it sucks in that regard. But
you know what they're going to do?
What?
Next year, World Series. Because next year, we're going to be back in the stadiums. They're going to be in Oakland. Oh, load that thing up, knock it to the ground.
Yeah, imagine if they were playing that series against the Astros in Oakland with fans there.
Oh, they would have won.
Yeah, they would have.
Dodger Stadium was a big thing because it was daytime. The ball was jumping out of there. The A's will be all right.
Yeah, they always, even 17 players, they'll figure it out.
They could lose all 17 of them, and they'd be right in the playoffs next year because they just find a way.
Yeah, it's amazing with these scrappy teams like the Rays.
They'll get Howie Kendrick.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
They're the kind of team that can go get LeMahieu.
Oh, I can see it.
Imagine him with that team? Because he already fits any team with what he does. But then you get the way that the A's find a way to get players and stuff. Oh
my gosh.
He might bat 400 for a full year. You get Howie Kendrick at 40 years old. Oh, they'll figure it out. They'll get a bunch of. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tolo will come back. Oh, he'll have like a Cy Young year.
Yeah.
That's what they do
with his robo arm.
Yeah, they just figure it out there. Well, not just they make the playoffs barely. No, they're like a 90+ win team every year. They'll be good. But they had a good season.
Yeah, good. I mean, in all, good for them to make it this far and to be this good and win the West.
And it was huge for them. Like I said, they get a playoff win, but it was huge for that fan base.
Yeah.
A fan base who lost the Warriors up the coast and lost the Raiders. So it wouldn't have been very good if they had been a bad season.
That's
they had
true.
A good season. They won the playoff round. That was good for their fan base. Because now that's all they got. So it was good for them.
True. All right, well, what do you say we move on to the NLDS series? Let's start with the first one. Like I said, we'll go in descending order of which was the most competitive. Let's start with the Dodgers-Padres. First things first, we got a sweep here, which I did not expect. You actually predicted a Padres sweep of the Dodgers. We got it the other way, which just surprised me, especially because, one of the games was an absolute, I don't even know what to call it. It was an absolute chaos type game. Both teams yelling at each other, equipment getting thrown around all over the field, which neither of us are really a fan of. But got to give, I guess, props to the Dodgers there, where both of us kind of was like, well, here come the Padres, and they're going to be hot, and they're the team that'll knock them out. And the Dodgers basically, said, oh, no, we're the Dodgers, and we're good. And they got good pitching. Offense is good. Even though statistically, if you look at the offense, they really didn't have all that great of a year. Cody Bellinger, Muncy.
They pulled Kershaw out at the right time.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yep.
So you see that almost went off the rails. That one,
Saved his
just
start.
hanging on. The train was just hanging on the tracks there.
Yeah,
So.
he escaped with a quality start. It was like 6 innings, 3 earned or something like that. Gave up back to back, and that got the offense, the Padres, kind of off the bench and got them back in the game. They were down 1 run, and
here we go again. And the Dodgers dug out.
Exactly. So, props to the Dodgers. I mean, Padres are good, and I think to sweep them out was pretty good. Obviously, it sucked. Mike Clevenger only pitched he threw I don't even know how many pitches. He threw 2 pitches into the second, and he was out. So that obviously hurt too. But I mean, what do you think of what you saw here? I know you don't like the Dodgers, so.
Dodgers, I hate them. So that's just how it is. Padres did all right. Definitely missing Clevenger. Didn't like the way they handled Clevenger at all. At the end of the regular season, he wasn't healthy. You kept pitching him. Playoffs come, you kept pushing him. Not healthy, not healthy, not healthy. How many times you got to look? It's not healthy. Dilson Lamet ended up getting hurt about the last game of the regular season.
Yeah, something like that.
Didn't like that either. Why you pitched him? You were locked in where you're at.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that either. But having 2 injuries like that really hurt them. Kirby Yates being gone hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
But good team. They did a lot of moves. Hopefully they do some other moves and they're smart with their moves and they continue to grow. They're going to be good. They're a little loud. So when you're going to be loud, you're going to get beat loud.
Mm-hmm.
If the team beats you, they're going to yell at you. And that's how it's going to be. The bat flips that people have no problem with now. Machado hit the home run, said, let's go, do the bat over there.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers took offense to that for some reason. Because I don't see why they should have.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like Max Muncy, who hit the home run, threw the bat 700 feet and told Bumgarner to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got guys throw the bat and yell and holler and all that crazy stuff. So I didn't get why they took offense to that. And then have a pitcher who, the guy made a nice catch. Not a great catch, let's be honest. He stood at the fence. Something the judge should have done. You get to the fence, you just stand there for an hour, you jump up, you catch it. It's not hard.
Mm.
It's a nice play. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not super hard. It's not like he jumped the fence, ended Chavez.
No.
Reached over at Jen Edmonds, something like that. He just jumped at the fence, caught the ball. Nice play, but nothing special. And your pitcher, who's a rookie, takes his hat and glove and throws them like he just won the World Series in the middle of an inning. Well, at the end of the inning, but still in the middle of the field.
I believe he blew a kiss to Machado, didn't he?
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? You just gave up a 405-foot ball. You're gonna throw your glove and what is that? What do you get out of that?
Strange.
Did you show him up by throwing your glove?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go pick it up. Like he's gotta go pick it up.
Yeah. And it's not like
if anything, he could have ran up and grabbed his bat and threw his bat. That would have made more sense. Like, go get your bat, idiot.
And it's not like it ended the game. You still got to play.
No, it did nothing. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's.
And this is where I have my problem with the bat flipping and stuff. Where does it end? It's just a war of escalation. So Machado threw the bat. He had a complete crap postseason, really.
But Machado threw the bat. If that didn't look just like Tim Anderson's.
Yeah, it was basically the same thing.
Loved it. People loved it.
Mm.
People love Max Muncy's.
Mm-hmm.
Machado hits a home run off his former team, off of Kershaw, like guy who blows the postseason every year. Blew his World Series ring, let's be honest. He throws the bat. Says, let's go to his dugout. Take offense for that. So your pitcher throws his glove?
Yeah.
After the guy catches the ball? Now, if Bellinger would have came in and threw his glove, I wouldn't have agreed with that, but at least would have had 1%. It would have made a little bit of sense.
Yeah, like he made the play.
He made the play. Like, you want to throw his hat into the crowd? Maybe there's no crowd, or his glove down a dugout or whatever. It would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Oh, he made the play. You're a pitcher. What did he do?
Yeah.
You should walk out there and thank him.
Mm-hmm.
Not throw your glove around like a little kid. I mean, grow up a little bit.
And people love this stuff. They love the whole thing with Machado. Yeah. They love the whole glove throwing. It's not for me.
Excitement's one thing. It really is.
I get it. I get it.
Growing the game, but you would rather see your pitcher throw your glove at the end of an inning than a guy slide in hard at second base. I mean, I'd rather see the guy slide hard in second base. It really causes a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or truck the catcher. That's excitement. Throw your glove. What does that do, though? What did that do for the outcome of the game?
It's passive aggressive. It's just yeah.
You want to flip the bat? We're at that point now. Throwing the bat is illegal. Flipping the bat is one thing. Walking the bat down to first base like Bregman did and hitting first base, dropping the bat, didn't like that either. So there's certain things that can bend, but to throw your glove as a pitcher, I mean, you're lucky you don't hit. That's where I would have been. If I was managing next year, it wouldn't be pretty. It really wouldn't. I'd go right up and in, and you don't like hitting nobody, and you especially don't like hitting people up.
No.
But you gotta send a message, and you're not the punching bags as you used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be feared now. Throw the ball up and in. If you hit him, you hit him. And you know what? Take him out at second base. Slide into him. Peg Mookie Betts. Peg him on the hand. When he breaks his hand, see what they say. And you know what you do? Throw your glove at him. That's what I would do. Just throw your glove. Oh, what happened? I don't know why I threw my glove. I got to go pick it up now, but that looked like it was cool when you did it.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we're at, but I don't like. I'm really not a fan of really the Padres because they do a lot of that stuff, but they really didn't do anything wrong this time. Dodgers always escalating things, how they are. I don't know where baseball's going with that, but they should. Yeah. They got to make something. You can't just throw your glove and your hat. I mean, what is that? It's not like you won the game or walked it off, or even that would have made no sense.
It's not like you just won. That catch won the World Series or something.
People really didn't say nothing when Miami Molina chucked the bat away to the outfield.
Yeah.
Why? It's a walk off.
Yeah.
Game was over. You threw your glove in the middle of the game.
Yeah, it's strange.
I don't know.
I'm not a big fan. To be
like
honest.
If the guy made it, he's sitting on right field after the play and just slammed his glove on the ground. People would all look at this guy. Little kid, temper tantrum up to his glove. That's pretty much what the pitcher did.
Yeah.
He's standing out there with his arms in the air, no hat on, no glove, blowing kisses to the guy. You just gave a 405-foot ball. Your outfielder happened to just be standing there and jumped up and caught it.
If anything, put your head down, thank your lucky stars didn't go out. And
put your hand out there, tip your cap, run all the way out there and slap his hand. Yeah. Or say hit it farther to the dugout. Something smaller. Throw your glove. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, play the game. Just play the game. You're obviously not fucking good at it. You haven't done that in your life. Am I wrong? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
You got traded. You haven't won nothing. You have won nothing. So, you're a nobody. Machado, what's he done? Gold Glove, a couple things. At least he's got something to his name.
Mm-hmm.
You've done nothing. As a rookie. It makes no sense. If Kershaw wanted to do it, all right, he has a little bit of backing up. Still doesn't make sense. Still doesn't make it okay, but he has something to back him up.
Yeah.
You're a rookie. Just keep your mouth shut and go walk the hell off. And go hope to God you come back out the next inning. Don't give a 407-foot ball that he can't catch. That's what that series is. That's going to be an ongoing rivalry. I hope the Dodgers go more old school next year and just beam them and play. But they're not going to do that. They're going to flip the bat at them and they're going to be fight. They're going to fight next year.
Probably, yeah. All right. Well, now that we got two series that fired Frank all up, let's move on to let's move on to the last one. I don't really have much to say here. I don't know how you feel. Braves-Marlins. I mean, good on the Marlins for getting here. They got a exciting team there, at least for this little shortened season. They got proved a little bit that their young guys are going to be exciting. Maybe prove that the rebuild was a good idea. Makes Derek Jeter look good in the ownership. Whoever's turning the levers there. So good for them. They made it to the division series. That's a big win for them, especially a team that me and you predicted. A lot of people predicted were going to be garbage.
Unbelievable.
So I got nothing but respect for that. Obviously, they run into the Braves. Braves are just a good team. That's just is what it is. They did their job. They handled it. Travis d'Arnaud came up big. He seems to be coming up big here for them. Marcell Ozuna keeps doing what he's doing. Acuna and Freddie Freeman and the guys, they keep doing what they're doing. They get the pitching. Surprisingly, guys like Ian Anderson going out there and really getting the job done that they need to have, because behind Max Fried, me and you question, what they really got. And Ian Anderson really going out there and giving some good starts. Bullpen, I still don't think is a huge strength for them, but they're, again, get the job done.
Every time I watch them, though, they pitch very well.
That's the thing.
They're strong.
Yeah.
It's not like a couple of guys on and get out of it. I mean, strong. Boom, boom, boom. Game over.
And that's what I'm saying. On paper, you got Chris Martin, Shane Green, Mark Melanson, these guys. On paper, you're like, but when they go out there, they get the job done. So props to them.
What the Rays are at.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter Fairbanks, who's this guy? Diego Castillo. Oh, okay, a little bit to him. Nick Anderson. Okay, still a little bit to him. Peter Fairbanks, who is he? He's out there shutting people down.
Yeah, dialing it up to 100.
So that's where the Braves got a good team.
Mm-hmm.
They got the monkey off their back for sure, and they're going. Dansby Swanson steps up in big moments. They still have Markakis, who's going to do his thing when you need him to. Freddie Freeman's the man. Ozzie Albies, he comes along at times.
Yeah.
Acuna's big moment waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Duvall just swings as hard as he can, hits a ball over the fence every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. Think of his lucky stars. He's not with the Mets anymore.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't play with the Mets. Austin Riley can't throw the ball to third base from third base to first base, but the ball he hit off the Mets this year was one of the farthest balls I've ever seen. So beef him in there. They're good.
Sure.
And they know they're good. And they're good the right way. Don't say much. A little flash for Acuna and Albies, but don't say much. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna win a World Series.
I like it.
Marlins, I don't know how you got here.
Yeah.
You got young players. Your stats didn't make sense. You didn't score a bunch of runs. You had a negative 20 run differential, and you made the playoffs. Went to NLDS. The only thing it does is you can say, oh, it hurts their draft position.
That's true.
For a young team. But they played well. Experience is great. Good for them. They hurt Starlin Marte. Losing him was really big.
Yeah.
But good for the Marlins. They finally lost the playoff series in their franchise history. But they're going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be good. They're going to get some free agents. Don't be surprised to see Marcell Ozuna back with the Marlins next year.
That'd be cool. That'd be very cool.
He's a free agent. Great year. They have money. They have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have an opening out there or two.
Mm-hmm.
Marte and Ozuna, they could do something like that. So don't be surprised. Or don't be surprised to see them be like, you know what, we'll take Lindor.
Yeah.
Indians, you don't seem to know what you're doing. We'll take them. Arenado, well, fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have Brian Anderson first base.
And they're at the point where the field is kind of getting a little clearer, where your spots are, where you need stuff, where you don't need stuff. So it's getting a little clearer, so they can start isolating these positions that they need and starting to target like guys like Ozuna, Lindor, or
Arenado. Well, Brian Anderson's a great third baseman.
Yeah.
He plays first base as well, though, and outfield.
Mm-hmm.
Put him at first base. Aguilar, where do you put him? Well, let's be honest, he can't play first. Have him DH. Or I don't know. Brian Anderson, Jazz Chisholm, playing shortstop. They got to get rid of Lewis Brinson playing center field for them.
Yeah.
He was part of the trade that got Yelich. That's not worked at all. He's terrible, but figure that out. But Matt Joyce had a good run. Corey Dickerson. But they're going to have spots, and they're going to be some free agents out there. And they have young pitching. They're going to be good.
Yeah, sure.
Just adds to that NL East.
Yeah.
That seems like the Mets, every time they climb up a step, by the end of the year, they found out they fell down 5.
Yeah, it's a shame, too. Competitive NL East could be interesting next year. I hope we have a nice full season, take a look at all these teams, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, look at the Nationalists. You won the World Series. Terrible this year. Good chance you're rebuilding.
Yeah.
Not even like, oh, well, the Red Sox said it. No, they're rebuilding now.
Yeah.
Because you have guys, Howie Kendrick leaving. Or retiring maybe or whatever. Scherzer's really, let's be honest, he's getting up there. He's hard to stay healthy. Strasburg's always hurt.
Yeah.
Zimmerman's gone. You know, who you got? Jubal Cabrera, older guy. I mean, he's kind of gone. You have Trey Turner. Adam Eaton's starting to get up there now. You have Juan Soto. But their pitching's going to fall apart here.
Yeah.
Anibal Sanchez and guys like that. They're going to have some guys. Scherzer's still going to be there. Strasburg's still going to be there. Corbin's still going to be there. But Scherzer's definitely aging. And Strasburg always has injury concerns.
Yeah.
The bullpen's fading, which they haven't really been strong, but they're fading. Sean Doolittle's getting older, having injury concerns. So they're a team that won the World Series and they're rebuilding the next year. That's how the NL East is. And then you have the Mets, who just seem to be, they're going to be in the top of the division, and then they're at the bottom, and they're terrible. So that's where they'll be. And they're probably going to full rebuild. New owner, new coach, new GM, I expect.
I agree.
I would say 50, 60, 70% of that team's gone. I would think.
Yeah.
Then again, he might keep it and go all in and buy a bunch of players. But I would think he's going to get rid of a bunch of guys.
Well, you got your ring the season that you didn't think you really would. And this season, it proved that the shortened season, it didn't help them because they were at the same exact point that they were when they were
in the Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens, like I said, with the NL East. It could be interesting. There's going to be that whole division could be competitive at this point.
Yeah, the Marlins are really on a fast track to the Braves.
Yeah.
They just got to find that one or two guys, that Acuna and Albies. They're hoping Jazz Chisholm is going to be one of them guys. They got to find them, that one or two guys that really
get them over the tipping point.
Brian Anderson's almost like the Freddie Freeman. No, Brian Anderson's younger than Freeman was at that time and not much of a veteran, but he's almost like the same kind of, all right, he's kind of established now. Let's build around him and let him really go. So they're right there.
Yeah.
So good for the Marlins. And, I think the Braves, stick with that. I think the Braves are going to beat the Dodgers. We're already 2 games past in the ALCS, so the Rays are up 2-0. So I'm going to go on a limb here and say the Rays are going to beat the Astros.
Yeah. And it's funny, coming into the series, I thought it was going to be the Astros just because it seemed like the Astros were just mowing through people in the playoffs, and I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be the whole story of them facing all the problems they had in the season and all the problems in the offseason, and oh my God, and here they come. I thought it was going to be that story, but here the Rays are just really taking it to them.
Yeah.
So
and the Astros have Dusty, and he doesn't seem like he ever has a chance to win, not just because he's not good, because he's very good.
Yeah.
Just, that's just how it goes with him.
Yeah.
So I think you have to see the Rays and the Braves in the World Series. Rays, Braves goes together.
Yeah.
southeast,
Yeah.
Atlanta and
Yep.
Miami,
Yep.
or Tampa. That would be an exciting matchup. Younger teams, built kind of similar, you know.
Braves a little bit more star power,
Yeah, a
obviously.
little bit more money involved.
Yeah.
But all around, do their job, and it'd be an exciting series.
Yeah.
Or like the Dodgers and the Rays, and Dodgers bunch of money, the Rays no money.
That's where my head is at. I think it's gonna be Rays Dodgers.
I think the Dodgers are just gonna mess it up.
You got to figure at some point the bottom's gonna fall out, but I don't know. They're my only team left in the bracket, and I picked them to win World Series, so I'm just going with them at this point. I'm just rolling with it.
They're gonna Astro.
Oh no, don't get me wrong.
Through, and then they're gonna be like, what?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
don't get me
like,
wrong.
What happened? And the Braves are gonna be up 3-0. They're like, what?
Yeah.
We can't throw our gloves now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they got swept. And at any point in these series, if they got swept in the wild card by the Brewers, I mean, that would have surprised me. But still, like, it's just the Dodgers.
You'd be like, yeah, well, that's what they do.
Yeah, but like I said, they're the only team I got left in my bracket. I'm just gonna stick with my original prediction.
I
F
can't
it.
stand it, so.
Before we get to our trivia question here, we got a few news updates, just small ones, stuff that came out today. So I'll let Frank take care of some of the stuff we got here, including big news with the White Sox.
Sure. So Rick Renteria and the White Sox agreed to part ways. As we said before, we kind of thought that could happen. It's kind of similar to what they did with the Cubs. They kind of let him teach the young guys and kind of turn the franchise and then get that guy who's going to put them over the top, Joe Madden, as it was for the Cubs. So they parted ways, so they're going to look for a new manager. There's rumblings with Alex Cora being eligible, but the Red Sox got rid of Ron Renicky, so there's a good chance Cora ends up back with the Red Sox, which he cheated, so not sure why they let him right back in the league. So Cora and Hinch could begin for the White Sox. You know, you can have some, where does Dusty go next year if he stays with the Astros? So there's a question for you. Does Buck Showalter come in? I would doubt it at this point, but
Oh my gosh.
but if I had to throw just a couple guesses in there and just prayers, boy, if the White Sox and ownership loves them. Konerko,
Good God.
come in and coach that team.
Yeah.
Oh.
And have Adam Dunn as the hitting coach.
Oh, no. You wouldn't want that. You probably could because he started this. But started this home run or nothing kind of thing. But Paul Konerko, love to see. Przinsky, oh, what a mean team. Oh, my goodness. Flip your glove, flip your bat with him. Man, oh, no. He'd run out there to punch you as manager. Nope, wouldn't take crap from nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Thome, who's involved, I believe, in the franchise.
I think so.
Does like baseball. Does like to stay in baseball. So those are a couple names I would love to see. Paul Konerko or Jim Thome. Przinsky, I like Przinsky. So those names,
Yeah.
Ozzie Gann comes back.
No.
But Jermaine Dye.
Oh.
Joe Creed.
Oh my God. Joe Creed.
But I'd love to see Konerko or Jim Thome take that team. Oh, they almost made Konerko player manager when he was playing. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
same ownership. So don't count it out. Or I can easily see Omar Vizquel.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Base coach, play with the White Sox. He's base coach for now with Detroit, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Or Roberto Alomar. He took over for Francona when Francona was out this year for a while. So you can see someone like that who's more in baseball. Makes a little bit more sense, but can't count Konerko.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
And one little piece of news for Yankees fans after we torched them, throw them apart. Luke Voigt went for MRI on his foot issues.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. They said that his foot issues definitely started flaring up later in the season, and we'll see what the hell is actually wrong with him.
Yeah, you could see clearly when he was, he would hit a home run around the bases. He was limping. He clearly limped, the whole time, whatever he was running. So, I guess it wasn't serious enough where he was playing. So I guess.
Well, he's one of the guys who, I'm hurt, I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
Unlike Judge, who's out for 7 months, and the LeMahieu thing. Oh, he's out 4 weeks. He comes back in 3 weeks.
It's refreshing.
Voigt is part of that plan, not the Judge. I'm out for 2 days, and he's out for 6 months, and Stanton's out forever, Hicks out forever.
Yeah.
So some of those guys who are like, I'm coming back. I don't care if I'm hurt. I'm playing. But he's part of that bunch. But yeah, so we'll see what's if it's serious enough with them. But yeah, so that's a little bit of news. I don't want to get too much of it, just because we could be here for a lot longer if we did. So
yeah. All right. Well, then I didn't have any news planned, just because that was really the White Sox news was the big news, other than obviously what we talked about at the top of the show with Joe Morgan. So that's all I got. If you want to move on to your trivia question, unless you got something else to bring up.
No, that's enough yelling, everybody. Let's go back to our trivia question for the week. And I wanted to keep it somewhat related to Joe Morgan. So Joe Morgan's second on the all-time stolen base leaders for a second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
The trivia question is, who's number one? Who has the most stolen bases as a second baseman in MLB history? Joe Morgan's 2.
It's a tough question.
Yeah. And I asked Mike, and he gave a couple decent guesses here, but the answer is Eddie Collins.
Someone you kind of forget about.
Who's really one of the best second basemen of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, over 3,300 hits.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 50 home runs. Not even 50 home runs.
Yeah, expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,300 RBIs. 333 average. I got the stats right here. He's 333 average.
Some people are probably like, who?
Yeah. Struck out over 1,000. Walked over 1,000 times more than he struck out.
The good old days.
Yeah. And he had 741 stolen bases. Joe Morgan's second was 689 for second baseman. But that's a trivia question. So who has the most stolen bases as a second baseman? It's Eddie Collins. Second is Joe Morgan. So I just wanted to kind of relate it a little bit to Joe Morgan, knowing was one of the greatest second basemen of all time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
And one of the best people of all time around the game.
Yeah.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer, and that's why he was a commentator, and that's why he's well loved from the older generation and even some of the newer generation of people who really like to look back at the game, like me and you.
Yeah, he was one of the best, full stop. And I didn't even know he was that high on the stolen base list till you said it. And when you think about it, it makes sense. But that's kind of the traditional second baseman you want, kind of hitter, speedy, that kind of thing. Joe Morgan did have some pop, obviously.
Yeah. And he played a long time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And with some unbelievable teams.
He sure did.
Big Red Machine.
Yeah.
And he was a big part of the Big Red Machine.
Yeah.
No Joe Morgan. Not saying there's no Big Red Machine, but...
Yeah, he's kind of one of the first ones to pop in your head when you think about that team. Johnny
right,
Bench, him.
Yeah, it's a Big Red Machine, but it's not well-oiled without Joe Morgan.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
He was great, and there was some great teams. Hopefully the Reds get back to...
Hitting.
To Joe Morgan-esque level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame we keep losing these guys, like we said at the top of the show, but these last couple of months, they're building a hell of a lineup up there. But yeah, that's a trivia question. That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say here either. We already kind of went over. We only got 2 more. We got the Championship Series and then World Series, and then it's over. It's crazy how fast it went. It sucks because usually baseball season, it feels like a marathon where it feels like it's on all year.
Yeah.
So
normal season. What is this? 12th week? 14th week?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Normal season. What are we? Just hitting the All-Star break?
Yeah, we're about halfway through. Yeah, it should be nice.
It would also be summer.
Yeah, that'd be even better.
We'd be about to go on our trip, or just got back from our trip
to
all these stadiums. So
yeah, yeah,
we'll be back.
Although it's gonna be nice in a little bit. We get to watch here the NLCS and the World Series will have fans, so it's kind of nice to see too.
Yeah.
They're one of the. Are they maybe the last sport to? Or no, hockey and basketball didn't have fans, but they did the virtual thing with basketball. But
yeah, I believe Florida gave the Dolphins full permission to have full capacity in their stadiums.
Yep.
And just to jump off of that with football, Raiders won. Got my shirt on. I hate the Chiefs. We beat the Chiefs. F the Chiefs. If you're a Chiefs fan, don't listen. Simple as that. I don't even want to listen to you. I don't want you to listen to me because I hate the Chiefs. I hate them. Can't stand them.
Ugh.
So we beat them. Beat Mahomes and his stupid Dino haircut he's got. So go Raiders. Got a bye week this week, and we'll come back and we'll play Brady. The fighting Tom Brady's. But yeah, Raiders won this week. 1 game out of first. Beat the Chiefs. Only team that could do it so far this year. And hate the Chiefs.
There you go.
So there you go, guys.
And that's it.
That's our football rundown.
There you go. That's a good way to end it then. I know you like giving your little football rundown. You're not going to have an update next week because you got to buy. So
We'll have an update.
Well, you'll have an update about something, just not the Raiders.
Oh, we'll have a Raiders update.
Okay. All right.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
Maybe we'll get Gordon on or something. Have him yell at us, yeah.
Rock
right,
on.
man.
Yeah, rock on, man.
Gordon Grinder. Go Raiders.
All right. I think that's enough to wrap it up here. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that quite sums it up.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. You can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. You can listen to this podcast every week on our regularly updated YouTube channel, as well as our website, screwball.podbean.com. You can follow me on Twitter at RealMikeLepre. You can follow me on Instagram at Mike Lepre.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FDubs10.
You can follow our official Screwball Twitter at ScrewballPod. You can follow our official Screwball Facebook at ScrewballPod, no E in Screw. And that's it from us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep, take care.